A very good morning. As we know that technological advancements have transformed our lives completely. We have become so much dependent upon technology that it is difficult to imagine a day without a cell phone or a laptop. These innovations do not come free. They have their own repercussions. The most rampant is the cybercrime that has been escalating at an alarming rate. The emerging cybercrime is affecting women in many ways by posing a threat to their safety and security. In today's world, when we talk about liberation of women from clutches of this male dominated world, women centered cybercrimes have raised many issues. This emerging session has been organized to enlighten the youth of today, especially the school and college going girls, so that they are able to handle the cybersecurity issues in a better way. To deliberate upon this issue, we have amongst us Dr. Dhanya Menon, the first female cybercrime investigator of India. A woman who has been instrumental in curbing this menace, Dr. Menon has investigated many high profile cybercrime cases. She is actively engaged in creating awareness on cybersecurity laws and has earned many prestigious awards, such as Women Achievers Award from former President of India, Sri Ramnath Kovind, in 2018 at Rashtrapati Bhavan, under the able leadership of Ms. Menaka Gandhi, the Ministry of Women and Child Development. She has been conferred with the title the first woman cybercrime investigator of India. She is currently working as a director of Avenzo Cybersecurity Solutions Private Limited and a trustee of Avenzo Charitable Trust. She has been appointed by Indian courts to detect frauds and manage data integrity within organizational systems. She has authored course materials for cybersecurity education and designed curriculum for college and university students. She has been delivering talks as a resource person to police delegations across the world. She has also he has also contributed as an advisor and consultant for several law firms in India and provided consultancy services to the Ministry of Child Development in India. Her areas of expertise encompass cybercrime investigation and forensic analysis, collection and preservation of digital evidence, network security and vulnerability, cyber threat intelligence and incident response, training and capacity building for law enforcement agencies. Ma'am, it's our honor to have you here. Now it's time
Thank
to
you.
start the engaging question answer session that will enlighten the masses at large. Can we start,
Thank
ma'am?
Yes, yes.
So the first question will be, what are the biggest cyber threats faced by young Indian girls today in the online space? Can you, ma'am, please guide?
Yeah, actually, if you talk about the gender-specific issues, which are which target the girls, young girls specifically, they would be the social issues, relationship issues, or somewhere where their privacy, where their morality, integrity is being questioned every day, and this technology provides a easy space for the same. See, earlier it was very difficult, or it was rather difficult to defame somebody, or the defamation, if ever, the malice that is created would stay in a close circle. It wouldn't spread as far as it goes now. Because today, one post on the internet, and at least 4 lakh people can get access to it every hour. So that is a kind of access to information that we're talking about now, these days. So anybody wants to defame somebody else, the access to the defamatory information that anybody posts online is much larger. So the impact is also much larger. So that is one thing that the girls specifically go through. But I wouldn't say that it's only the girls who go through all these issues. But yes, this is one thing that is by and large what the girls face today in terms of larger numbers that comes as crimes.
Exactly, ma'am. Ma'am, my next question will be, ma'am, can you guide how can students safeguard their social media accounts from being hacked or compromised?
See, most of the time, what we need to understand is what happens is not hacking, because hacking is a word which was associated to a criminal side of cyberspace before 2008. Post 2008, hacking no longer became a crime; it is a profession basically. So, unauthorized access is the right word to indicate a crime. Most of the time, the right word to use is we are being compromised. And the compromise generally is because we actually are not careful with our own information. Uh, and if you look at the student community, what I find is that there's a lot of indulgence into this internet and cyberspace and the social media even before the child becomes responsible enough to understand the difference between information, data, or personal data. There's no segregation between personal data as such today. Now I don't think there is any child who remembers we used to write out the first page of the diary where we called it personal information. And all those things that we wrote out on that page were supposed to be our personal information, which is no longer a personal information. All the children mimic the entire world by posting their very intimate spacing, very intimate or personal photographs, videos, and it's just all over internet. Once you post something on internet is a public platform. So once you do that, then you are a public figure. Your information is public. It is publicly available. Now, how the information is being used is what restricts our information from being compromised or not. So basically, I think every child needs to be trained in understanding what is the difference between data, information, and personal data, and how much of the personal data any individual should be or can be, willing to expose or willing to be vulnerable about. So I think it takes a lot of effort from the entire stakeholders of the society to educate the children by and large.
So true, ma'am. Can you guide some red flags young girls should look for to check whether it is a fake or harmful website?
See, fake or harmful websites, yes, of course, reviews help a little bit. Then you should be, able to check whether the site is hosted securely or not. It's whether it is on HTTPS or HTTP or, these are the major things. But then reviews and all are again fake reviews are coming in these days. So harmful website in the sense if you're talking about a personal data is never compromised using a harmful website. It is used compromised by using the most popular websites. None of the youngsters want to look for a harmful website and post their personal information there. Every youngster wants to post their information on the most popular website. So it is the popular medium of communication or popular medium of publicity. I wouldn't use the term called it's a medium of communication, though it was formulated and developed as a medium of communication. But these days, it is by and large a medium of publicity. Whichever social media account that you take, which is popular, it is basically a medium of advertisement. That is also something which children don't understand, don't realize. They still think, okay, whatever they post on their social media is a private information. It's a personal information. They very without a second thought would say, what they like to have as breakfast, what is their favorite color. All these things are personal information to them, but it's all over the internet,
Yes,
on the
ma'am.
public
We
platform.
have to, yes, ma'am. We have to be very much vigilant, ma'am.
Yes, we have to train ourselves to
Yes,
be vigilant.
exactly, ma'am. So the next question will be, ma'am, how can students ensure that their online conversations like chats or emails remain private and secure?
One thing is that, again, every chat or every online communication, anything that you talk about online is not private. Everything is on a public platform. So, and there are two people involved in this. See, I'm chatting with you. I can delete it from my device, but I have no right to delete it from your device because your device is your personal property and is your personal space. So I cannot delete it from your space. No matter how many times I delete it from my space, the risk of this data or information being available at your end is by and large very, very high. Now, you want to misuse that data. You may do it. I cannot sit in your brain and think. So,
So true,
one thing
ma'am.
that I always tell the youngsters is that please do not use terminologies. Please do not use any information, whether it be your pictures or your videos or your voice note or whatever. Do not use something which you do not want to see yourself or hear yourself tomorrow. Do not
Exactly.
use that on the digital space at all. That's the only thing we can do. We cannot trust somebody else. We cannot sit in somebody else's brain and think and ask them to think only good. Not possible.
Yes,
So we have to be very, very careful. It's only us we can help with.
exactly, ma'am. So the next question will be, what exactly is cyberbullying and how does it affect Indian young students?
See, bullying basically is torturing somebody or teasing somebody beyond that somebody's acceptable capacity. We've all had this kind of bullying all our life. See, I don't
Yes,
belong to the young generation anymore. So, but in my generation, I still remember I was also talked about being very skinny sometimes, or very fat sometimes, or very tall sometimes, or very athletic sometimes, or very dark sometimes. Sometimes even for the accent, I belong to South India, so the accent with which I speak Hindi, there is a problem. So I mean, so everything there is a kind of a teasing which we are all used to, or which is has been repeating from generation to generation. Now, when the same thing happens on the platform of cyberspace, like I said in the first question, as I answered the first question, you call me thin or you call me fat. When my friends used to call me fat, it used to be just within the five people around us, My world was just the five friends
yes,
that I had in school. Now it's not like that. The when somebody calls me fat on my internet space, what happens is that everybody on the internet, at least 4 lakh people an hour, gets access to the fact that I'm being called a fat woman. The
yes, ma'am.
access to such information, or access to such, or exposure to such information, is very large. That is the impact what is created. Now every user on this space knows that the impact is large. Whether they're children also, they
Yes,
know that the impact is large. So when somebody cannot accept that level, now how can I tell you that generally nobody can accept being called fat? It is
yes,
not
ma'am.
like that. Some people enjoy being called fat. Some
Yes,
people
ma'am.
do not even want to use the. I mean, be even being associated with, your little big size is also not acceptable. Your little full also is not acceptable to some people. Wheatish skin is not acceptable to some people. So it's all everybody's individual tolerance capacity. Now, whether you want to try how much the other person tolerates
Yes,
before giving up on something, is that's something which I wouldn't agree on. So do not do to others or talk to others what you wouldn't accept on yourself. So that's the basic manners that you can have on. This is not law. Law intervenes
yes,
only when there is an impact of cyberbullying. Cyberbullying per se is not a crime. When the impact of cyberbullying comes in, when the other person who has been bullied actually tries to take his or her life, tries to run
yes,
away, is impacted socially, mentally, it goes on to a more depressive state, when people around him starts coming up, that is when law intervenes.
yes,
Okay, so cyberbullying doesn't have a definition per se. Anything that is hurtful to somebody else, not acceptable to somebody else, is and when that is happening on the cyberspace, it is cyberbullying.
it's our own perspective, ma'am. Yes.
Yes.
Thank you so much, ma'am. The next question will be, what steps can school and college going girls take to prevent themselves from becoming victims of cyber bullying?
School children, I would say, they're a little more not responsible position in the society as yet, because they're still minors. The guardians of
Yes,
the society, we are responsible for them. So, as far as the
exactly.
school-going children are concerned, I would definitely hold the stakeholders of the society, which is the schools, the parents, the teachers, the adults of the society, basically, to be more responsible, to do something so that the children can be educated, can be trained on this
Yes,
platform, on how to deal with this space, what to be alert about, how to respond to certain things on the space, etc. But as far as the college students are concerned, I will be mostly talking about adults, 18 plus youngsters. I would say
yes,
they
ma'am.
are responsible for the generation already. So they need to learn the space. They need to understand the nitty-gritties of the space. They also need to take up the additional responsibilities of being helpful or responding to the next generation of the society, to do good to the next generation of the society. So, learn and then teach the next generation.
Yes, ma'am. So true. So, ma'am, next question will be, what should a girl do if she experiences cyberbullying or witness a friend being bullied online? What
See,
can she do
basically,
after that?
yes. See, basically, when you're talking about cyberbullying and the impact, when the impact starts, it becomes a criminal activity. So you have to register a issue. So, and when there is a criminal activity, either the police can take a suo motu case, which means it doesn't need to be a complaint, depending on what the impact of the cyberbullying is all about. Otherwise, what the if I am the victim to such a issue, I can always go raise my voice. I have forums where I can register my issue. The police could be one. The Women and Child Development Center could be one. Your college health center could be one. There should be every organization, every college should have committees appointed to handle such situations. So such committees should be approached where they should go and fall back and tell them, talk to the adults of the society, seek professional help. Do not be silent, because if you are silent, you're encouraging the bully or the criminal to keep doing this, to just not you, to the others of the society as well. So please raise your voice. The journey may not be very easy, but please raise your voice.
Yes, it will be an example for others as well, ma'am, if we raise
Yes.
our voice. Yes, ma'am. So, ma'am, the next question will be, what legal protections exist in India for school and college going girls who are victims of cyber stalking or online harassment?
See, cyber stalking is one crime which we find it very difficult to establish, because stalking means following somebody. That's all. When that following starts harassing somebody is when actually it becomes a crime. Because otherwise, every one of us are stalkers online. Because there is some popular figure that we all follow, who we may know what their interests are in life. We want to know exactly what time they woke up today, how many hours of gym the person did, or probably what they had for breakfast, what color shirt they're wearing, or what sari they're wearing, which party they went to. So we are all stalkers in one way or the other. So basically, stalking is following somebody. But when you do that with the intention to intimidate the other person, then it becomes a problem. For example, somebody starts sending me messages every day, or sending you, if just take for example that somebody keeps sending you messages every day saying good morning, you're looking beautiful. One day is okay, second day also maybe okay, third day you'll start thinking, who is this? Then you'll start worrying, who is the person who's monitoring you every day. No, after a couple of days, he says I mean, the sender of the message actually sends you saying that you are looking good in red. Do not use blue. Blue doesn't suit you, and you're wearing a red sari on that day, or a red suit on that day. Finished. Do you think you can walk the streets with peace of mind, or you can go about doing your thing in peace of mind? But how will you establish a crime there? Because the person has not intimidated you in any way by using harsh words. The person has
Yes, ma'am.
not threatened you with anything, not used abusive words. So that is one crime that we find always very difficult to establish. And stalking is not against women alone. Stalking is against any human being. If anybody has a feeling that men are okay being stalked or okay being, no, the boys and men also get equally intimidated. If somebody follows them, if somebody keeps monitoring them they are also equally intimidated. They are also
Exactly.
human beings who get scared. So stalking is one thing that we find it very difficult to establish when something happens. And sometimes, the person who gets stalked also gets to a point of a nervous breakdown, which makes it even more difficult for them to distinguish between what they are thinking, imagining, or what is actually happening. So that also makes this particular scenario very difficult for us to, or for any kind of a professional or law enforcement people to get into it. But other than that, if you ask me, the law is all by the girls today. Now the law belongs to the women. So basically, we have lots of rights. Every woman, every girl, child has more rights than anybody else on this world today, especially in India. So I think we should go back. We should be aware about the laws that protect us. But one thing that I would gently remind every person is that when you know your rights, when you learn about your privileges, also try to understand and keep in mind what your responsibilities are. This is a very, very, uh, very close balance that we need to establish with this.
Yes, ma'am. So, ma'am, the next question will be, if a girl's personal photos or videos are leaked online, what should she do? And how can she seek legal help?
See, first thing is that to understand that we need to have evidence. So first, take screenshots, save the URL where you see these pictures. Save it in the sense, save it not just by taking a picture of the URL, if possible, copy paste the URL into another place where you can just copy it and reuse it. So these are the basic digital evidence that we need for any kind of start of any kind of investigation. Deleting conversations, deleting such pictures, or deleting such user profiles will not help you in any way. So you need to be very clear about where you have seen, what you have seen, and then is where it starts. So it need not be actually any vulnerable kind of image that you have posted or taken. Though we get issues where the child or the girl child herself has taken such videos or pictures online, or probably taken it on their phone and given the phone for an exchange, and probably given out the phone as a gift to somebody else. They retrieve the phone, and all these deleted photographs or videos just pop out. So all these are possibilities. So the first thing, again, as a precaution, is that do not take pictures and videos like this, which, deletion on the cyberspace is again just a myth. There's no 100% deletion. uh, if there's a possibility of overwriting, but you can't make sure that you've overwritten all what you want to. There is no such thing called 100% deletion. So when that is not there, it is all the more important that we understand how to respond to such situations. So the response would be saving evidence and then reaching out to the law. Do not entertain blackmail. Never, never entertain blackmail. Once you pay the blackmailer by means of money or by any other means, the request or the demand will keep increasing and will keep happening. There's no stop to it.
So informative, ma'am. So, ma'am, the next question will be, what evidence should students gather if they wish to report a cybercrime such as bullying, hacking, or harassment?
That's why I said you need to have your screenshots ready. You need to have those URLs ready. You need to have all those evidences of the communications that you've had. We have had cases where people come to us and say, threw away the SIM. We trashed the handset where we saw all this, where we had all this, and we don't know where we saw, but we saw. We can't do that. We can't. It's like searching a needle in a bag of hay. To search for an image on the internet, and if somebody promises you that all your vulnerable pictures or videos can be taken away down from the internet, also it is a farce, because there's nothing like that. We from India, when we investigate issues, we can get into those domains or such websites which are under Indian jurisdiction or which responds to Indian law, not otherwise. So for which the websites which are hosted in countries which are not friendly with India, we cannot even do anything about it. So there's no legal battle to it. There's no technical answer to it also. The collection of evidence, to store the evidence, is also another important thing. Do not copy it into 100 places. Just keep it in one place or two places safe, so that you can hand it over to the law enforcement authorities or for any further investigation, or to your legal support system where they can help you to go legally.
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, can you guide some trusted helplines or organizations in India that students can contact for support in case of cybercrimes?
See, basically, we also have a charitable trust where we work, and we have a WhatsApp helpline number where we do tell people that they can reach out to us, and we will try to help them out. But it's not a complaint registration center, because we are not doing any parallel policing. In India, we're not allowed to do parallel policing, so we are not doing any parallel policing. Just because reporting it to us doesn't mean you're legally safe or everything is sorted, and we wave our hands and we have some magic things on our hands where we sort the issues and just like flick of our fingers. It doesn't happen. But yes, we do have a helpline number where people can reach out to us to understand what they can do, how they can respond. in particular cases, not in general circumstances like how we are discussing now, in that particular scenario, what can be done? They can have a clear-cut answer to it. If you want, I can just narrate the number over here. Probably you can distribute it as also. It's a
Yes, ma'am,
WhatsApp
sure.
helpline number. It is not on call. It is on WhatsApp helpline number. And depending on the emergency of the the issue that is raised to us, we may take time to respond to you or also. The number is 8129 double
8129.
double
Yes, ma'am.
seven double
Double
one
seven, double one,
double one.
double.
Yes,
Thank you so much, ma'am. It will be of great help.
it's a WhatsApp helpline number.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Then the next question will be, what are phishing attacks and how can Indian students avoid falling victim to them?
See, phishing attack is basically the same. The terminology called phishing, where you lay a bait and you wait for, there's thousands of fishes that flow down the stream, and there's one fish who comes and catches a hold of the bait, and then you have your victim. So it just happens like this. Like the latest thing that is happening now is called the digital arrest thing, where any person gets hold of your phone number or your email ID, and then random calls you up and tells you, we are calling from so and so. The classic scenario is we are calling from Delhi Customs or Bombay Customs or Bombay Cybercrime Office or Hyderabad Cybercrime Office, and we are getting you are under arrest because we found that your Aadhaar card, your phone number, and your email is being used for money laundering, MDMA, human trafficking, and etc. 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 So you have to talk to our officer because you're on digital arrest. First thing, there's no digital arrest. Nothing called digital arrest. Nobody has a right to digitally arrest you. What is this digital arrest thing? You have to stop yourself from moving out of the room. If a police comes and catches hold of a criminal, we have heard of situations where the criminal tries to escape. And we're talking about law-abiding citizens being digitally arrested from some remote area, saying that you're on arrest, you can't move out of the room. And the person sits there in that room for 3-4 days. So there's no digital arrest. So anything like this you are involved in, your local police should be contacting you. Your local police will contact you. No matter which international agency has a report against you, they have to contact your local police and then reach out to you. So that's one thing that we need to understand. So such kind of phishing things where random something is thrown. Okay, are you interested in ICICI or say ABCD Bank credit card, which will give you 5 lakhs non-stop purchasing power? And when you get an advertisement like that or some flash mail which is sent to millions of people every day, people who are interested will go and click on that link. Once you say, yes, I'm interested, we call back, then they know you are in financial difficulty. They know that you are in need of money. Then you start getting more and more and more and more offers where the filtering always happens from millions to thousands to hundreds to 10. And then there's one final person who can share their personal information, banking information, or their other personal data. So off late, we are seeing this digital arrest thing where the Indians are shelling out their hard-earned money or borrowing or selling their existing assets and giving out money like this, not in lakhs and crores every day. My trust, there's a call or a message, at least one per day, and we don't know what to do because they call us saying that they were arrested last Thursday, they got relieved this Thursday, they transferred the fund on Thursday or Wednesday last week. So the criminals already had opportunity to launder away the collected funds as well. So phishing is something which you really need to be careful about. Things that do not logically appeal to us in real life should not appeal to us on cyberspace as well. Whether it is a lottery scam, whether it's a gift scam, you may be offered gifts. They may say you have won a lottery. Now it's a digital arrest. Then again, there is a thing where they say, okay, you invest 5,000 rupees today, and tomorrow morning you'll have 5 lakhs with you. It doesn't happen like that.
So informative, ma'am. So, ma'am, the last question will be, ma'am,
By
what
the way,
fine?
sorry, I was also digitally arrested last 2 weeks back.
What happened, ma'am?
No, I mean, somebody just called me up saying they're from Hyderabad Cyber Police. And it seems my email ID, Aadhaar card was all used for MDMA, human trafficking. I said, yeah, very good. Then they said, have you used or done anything like that? I said, obviously, I wouldn't say yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Who would say yes to a criminal activity? I said, obviously. But then with the kind of response I gave, they understood, I was not going to fall for it. They just disconnected the line.
It happens with everyone, ma'am. Ma'am, my last question will be, what final message would you like to share with young girls and college-going girls and school-going girls specifically about staying safe in the online world?
See, one thing that I would like to tell everybody is that, there's nothing called a differentiation between cyberspace and the normal life now. Cyberspace or cyber life is the normal life now. From henceforth, definitely yes. I mean, it has already started being like that for the last 20 years. I'm in this industry for the last 22 years. So for the last 20 years, this has been the normal thing, that the cyberspace is the normal life. So when that happens, we have to understand, learn about the space, just like how we learned how to use our automobiles, how we use our roads, how we learn to speak a different language, how to read and write in a foreign language, how to read and write in our own language, how to maneuver with certain subjects. All these things we need to learn the same way. We need to understand. Now what has happened is we're just used to using the space, and we're just habituated using the space. None of us have learned this. So we need to learn about the space, and we need to be aware about the legal systems that surround us along with the space too. Please be aware, alert.
We have to educate ourselves.
Yes, yes.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you so much, ma'am, for answering all the questions related to cybercrime in such an eloquent manner. Ma'am, your simple way of expressing the things is really appreciable. We
Thank you.
got your thought-provoking session and enriching session. We hope your answers will eventually curb the madness and help the young generation at large. Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you for being here.
Thank you so much.